slide, slide, keep on a sliding. Honey, look into your baby's eyes. Throw your arms around me, ain't you glad you found me? Tease, squeeze, loving and wooing. Oh, babe, what are you doing? Ride to glory by your baby's side. When you do the Cubanola glide. I'm going crazy, hon, hear that band. Ain't it a daisy? It's certainly grand. Never heard music like that before. Rag it some more and we'll ride to glory. Pucker your rosy lips, lift the lid. Slip me a loving kiss, oh you kid. Honey bunch, whisper low. Tell me you love me, babe, let me know. I feel so spoony, I'm going loony, don't ever let me go. Glide, glide, keep on a gliding. Slide, slide, keep on a sliding. Honey, look into your baby's eyes. Throw your arms around me, ain't you glad you found me? Tease, squeeze, a loving and wooing. Oh, babe, what are you doing? Ride to glory by your baby's side. When you do the Cubanola glide. Way down in Cuba where skies are clear, where it is summertime all of the year, they have the loveliest dance I know. Come along, honey, babe, and I'll show you. Get away closer, hon, squeeze me tight. Rag-a-dag to the left, into the right. Shake it up, side by side. Cuddle right up to me as we glide. Ain't it entrancing when you're a-dancing that Cubanola glide? Glide, glide, keep on a-gliding. Slide, slide, keep on a-sliding. Honey, look into your baby's eyes. Throw your arms around me, ain't you glad you found me? Tease, squeeze, loving and wooing. Oh, babe, what are you doing? Ride to glory by your baby's side. When you do the Cubanola glide. I'm going crazy, hon, hear that band. Ain't it a daisy? It's certainly grand. Never heard music like that before. Rag it some more and we'll ride to glory. Pucker your rosy lips, lift the lid. Slip me a loving kiss, oh you kid. Honey bunch, whisper low. Tell me you love me, babe, let me know. I feel so spoony, I'm going loony, don't ever let me go. Glide, glide, keep on a-gliding. Slide, slide, keep on a-sliding. Honey, look into your baby's eyes. Throw your arms around me, ain't you glad you found me? Tease, squeeze, a loving and wooing. Oh, babe, what are you doing? Ride to glory by your baby's side. When you do the Cubanola glide. Way down in Cuba where skies are clear, where it is summertime all of the year, they have the loveliest dance I know. Come along, honey, babe, and I'll show you. Get away closer, hon, squeeze me tight. Rag-a-dag to the left, into the right. Shake it up, side by side. Cuddle right up to me as we glide. Ain't it entrancing when you're a-dancing that Cubanola glide? Glide, glide, keep on a gliding, slide, slide, keep on a sliding. Honey, look into your baby's eyes. Throw your arms around me, ain't you glad you found me? Tease, squeeze, loving and wooing, oh babe, what are you doing? Ride to glory by your baby's side when you do the Cubanola glide. I'm going crazy, hon, hear that band. Ain't it a daisy? It's certainly grand. Never heard music like that before. Rag it some more and we'll ride to glory. Pucker your rosy lips, lift the lid. Slip me a loving kiss, oh you kid. Honey bunch, whisper low. Tell me you love me, babe, let me know. I feel so spoony, I'm going loony, don't ever let me go. Glide, glide, keep on a gliding, slide, slide, keep on a sliding. Honey, look into your baby's eyes. Throw your arms around me, ain't you glad you found me? Tease, squeeze, a loving and wooing. Oh, babe, what are you doing? Ride to glory by your baby's side when you do the Cubanola glide.
We're good? We're on?
Yep.
All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the Gamesline podcast. Hello, everybody. Hi. It's me, John. Hi, how's it going? It's been a hot minute. I've been gone for a couple of weeks, then we took a week off. But I'm here, I'm back, I'm ready to talk about gaming and all things that considered within. With me this week is Lorelai. Lorelai's over here.
Hi, everybody. It's good to be back.
To me.
Good to be back podding after 3 days with no internet.
Yeah, like right at the last second, right?
Yeah, like literally an hour before a meeting on Friday, my internet got shut off.
Is there a reason, or just what happened?
They were supposed to shut off the internet for room 207, not apartment. Not my apartment.
Well, I'm sorry, but at least it's all cleared up now. Crystal, you're here. Hello, Crystal.
That's right. I've been called back by lost grace.
Is that what we are now, or?
No, your lost grace has called back me, the tarnished warrior.
Okay, so this is a Souls thing.
No, it's a new Tales game.
It's the ring, the Elden Ring.
Oh, the old ring. Okay, I don't play those games. I don't know this. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry.
That's a Scott thing.
Yeah, or everybody but me, basically.
And me.
Anyway, gaming occurred, and even when I was gone, gaming continued to occur. Folks, I was at my parents', and then I took another weekend off to go to a small tournament that was being held for the Hololive card game, because I'm still playing that for whatever reason. And I got third place. 3.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
So I'm a top 3 finisher at TCG for a genre of entertainer that I don't really care much for, but you know what? We take those. it was one of the starter deck tournaments, so everyone was on more even playing field. You could only use stuff that was in the starter decks. But that also goes to show that I'm wise with the cards, because I was able to just be like, oh look, here's, you just give me something, and first blush I'm able to figure out the strategy and use it, that kind of stuff. So that's what I did. But then now I'm here. I'm not doing that this weekend. Instead, I'm here to talk about the games that have occurred recently. We could hop right into it if you so desire, or we could hit some of the news. Because we've got some overlap here. And some of it's pretty big. But you could also hit the news first if y'all want. Does anyone have a strong opinion, or do you want to just hop into it?
Let's hop into it.
All right. So, the big thing that I have been playing this past week, and that a lot of other people have been playing this past week, is the new Pokemon game, Pokemon Legends ZA.
Did you know that in France they don't call it a pizza, they call it a Royale with za?
That's I okay. I actually had a Royale with cheese last night because I went to the Alamo Draft House to see the Chainsaw Man movie, and I was like, what would be something that one of the characters in Chainsaw Man would order? And I thought that ordering the thing that was a movie reference would be something that Makima would do. She would see that and say, oh, that's quite clever, and then she would order it. That's what I thought.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But I've been playing a ton of Legends ZA. I finished the story yesterday morning, or the main story. I'm almost done with the post-game main quests, which is catching the legendaries basically. I have one more, and then I'm just kind of training and doing other side stuff until I'm done. So I'm pretty close to being finished, I would say. And I really liked it. I thought it was a blast. I don't know if this is one of my favorites ever.
I think it is definitely for me. And I'm only ranked C. But I've got 33 hours in it, which is more time than I usually put into a Pokemon game in its week of release.
Look, I don't like BDSP, and I think I still put 50 hours into that game, so I have an illness. But I do like ZA. I don't know if I would put this in my top 5 or whatever. I would have to meditate on it some more. But I do think it's really good. I do think that the continued evolution of the Legends style of game is a positive one, because just having different ways to interact with the world and putting the interactions between people and Pokemon into different contexts is fascinating. And I also think that it's really cool that we have, I feel hit a point where it is very believable to the Pokemon world is very, very believable now. We have hit 9 regions now. And walking around a place like Lumio City that is very specifically supposed to be Paris, France. Not one-to-one, but is highly inspired by it. It's got the Prison Tower, which is basically the Eiffel Tower, and all that stuff. It's very cool to be able to walk around that environment and run into people from different regions and have all these different cultures intermingling in a believable way. I do think that it will still be a little bit until Pokemon has enough regions to make it truly feel worldly, because it is still very Japan centric, and also very American centric. Even though it's it's Unova is just the New York area, and Alola is, Hawaii is it's what it is. But it feels very like Japan and Eurocentric at times. There are still a lot of elements where it's just like, this is very, there's a lot of different people with a lot of different cultures all over the place. And I will not specify, but from what has been said about future games, it does sound like it's going to be even more, it's going to touch on more aspects of the world that will make the world feel more alive, I would say.
Yeah.
It seems like they've been doing like Rails like stuff, and that they're following up from side quests in XY.
To an extent. From not to not spoil anything, like, this game is like a week old, so I did just finish it, but things that are publicly known is that AZ from X and Y is a major character whose presence is looming over the entire story of this game.
Yeah.
No pun intended, because he's a very tall guy.
Yeah. And he's literally the first guy you meet too. Like, well, the second guy you meet, but
you meet your like rival who the plot of this game is that you just show up to Lumio City. You're just a random person who shows up to Lumio City on the train, and you run into another random person who's just like, hey, you got a good look about you. You should film a YouTube ad for the hotel that I live at, because we don't get any customers. And so you go on like a little adventure with your rival, your new rival. You end up at the hotel. You meet a group of people who are all like staying at the hotel for one reason or another. It's Tawny is which I don't know if they have a different name, because it's like if you pick that your character's a boy, they're a girl, and vice versa.
It's Urbane if you're a girl.
Okay, Urbane is the boy, and then Tawny's the girl, who's the rival. And then there is Naveen, who is he's like a fashion designer. I was gonna say tailor, but no, he's a fashion designer. Like a small scale fashion designer. Like, he gets by doing like commissions and stuff. But he's also just like he's really cynical compared to everybody else.
He's extremely,
but not
French.
In a way that's like, he's not like a shithead. He's just like, all right, we're doing whatever, we got to do it. But also, like, he's got a little bit of like a, all right, yeah, let's get do this. But
dare you do that to a croissant?
Yeah. Tawny keeps making curry with croissants, which Naveen hates, but I was sitting there and I was like, that doesn't sound that bad, honestly. Like the concept of like the taste of a croissant with like a Japanese style curry, more specifically, I think would fit with like the flavor of a croissant, I think.
Yeah.
I think. It is more how she does it though, because for some reason she makes it look like a fucking like a volcano. I don't know. And then is it Lita? I think is the last girl. Yeah, Lita, who she wants to be like a professional dancer. And it's implied, they don't actually say it, but it's implied that she might be like the younger sister of one of the rivals from X and Y, Tierno, because I think he was also a dancer. I don't remember a lot about X and Y. I need to replay X and Y because not a lot of X and Y is very memorable, I will just say. Like, I remember a lot of other Pokemon stuff, but X and Y's problem was that it was very non-memorable and its characters didn't really have a lot going on. But it definitely set up some stuff, and now it's paying off finally in Zeta A. Because again, to not spoil anything, like the stuff with AZ and his Floette gets resolved. Stuff that was left hanging a little bit with like Team Flare and the like gets resolved. It's very well done for a Pokemon game, I would absolutely say. Like, I don't think they make any like super big swings, but for how disappointing X and Y were originally, they turned it into something that, like, they took a region that I didn't give a flying fuck about into something that I was like, yeah, you know what, Lumiose is pretty cool.
The NPC dialogue is killing me. It's legitimately hysterical.
There's a lot of very weird, very funny people in Lumiose. Like, you'll just be walking around the city and little speech bubble will pop up over somebody's head and they'll just be like, people in Pokemon will all die someday.
They're all so sad. It's all
like,
so...
okay. I mean, yes, but
it's
you good?
Literally, like, one of the localizers or something was working through something.
God, I think I took a screenshot of one of them that I was like flabbergasted. I'm gonna have to look through my posts.
Like the like,
Sky.
Hopefully I'll reincarnate as a Pokemon someday. It's just...
Oh yeah, there was a child that just said, my first memories of Meowstic levitating me. All right.
It's very like there's a real charm to the game.
There was an old man just standing around who just goes, sometimes being with others makes you feel more alone. Like, what's going on? Why are you telling me this? Hello?
It's so
it's really
sad.
Good. It's
literally
really good.
Everyone in Lumiosa is the saddest person alive, and it's so good.
Yeah, everyone's going through it in Lumiose City. But the thrust of the game is that there is a sort of redistricting, like reconstructionist kind of there's a company called Quesarito who is running a sort of like they're divvying up Lumiose City to try to make it so humans and Pokemon can live together there. But the way they're doing it is that they are just plopping down wild zones into different parts of the city and having wild Pokemon there.
Oh, there's a little bit of grass in this neighborhood. Better slap down a wild zone.
Yeah, and it's like areas will shift very, for the most part, not like immensely, but there's like one part where at the beginning of the game, it is a normal, like, just area, like a city area. And then they, I guess, designate it to be where the ice type Pokemon are. So when you show up there, it's just all these buildings surrounding it and like green, like patches. And then once you cross over into it, it is just frozen because that's where the ice Pokemon are now. So they turned it into a winter wonderland for them. And so I think that the thing with Pokemon games that is a bit of a bummer, but it is something that it's a half measure kind of thing because like one of my favorite YouTube video essays is one that Tamahiro did about Gen 3, talking about the inspirations for Team Magma and Team Aqua, because a lot of people will see that and just be like, they're insane, like one of them just wants to destroy the ocean, one of them just wants to flood everything and kill everybody. Like, why do they want to do this? And it's a hyperbolic version of something that was going on in Japan at the time, which was a fight between farmers and fishermen over land reclamation. And so it was Game Freak presenting that concept and not really like having a full-on answer, but presenting that concept. And I think in that instance, it's a lot more understandable to not really have a concrete answer. It's something that just kind of present and have people think about. But I do think that they are trying to present something in this game that I don't think they fully that I think because they're presenting it, I think they're kind of almost saying something, but then because they don't actually say something at the end of it, it's not really a concrete thing, and it just feels a little it feels hollow, because like people NPCs are pretty consistently talking about like, we have less places to live now because the wild Pokemon are right up against us, and we are this isn't really a harmonious thing. We are, like, we feel like we're in danger by these wild Pokemon. There's a group of people who think that the wild zones should be ripped down and that people should have to just fend for themselves if they want to stay in Lumiose, and they have to get tough enough to defend themselves from the wild Pokemon. Or at the very least, like, that group needs to be powerful enough to keep the wild Pokemon at bay. And like, that's all interesting. And then something that people have pointed out is that, like, all the benches are the anti-homeless benches that exist in real life. And the Pokemon world is usually very, it's very utopic. It's very, people just live in harmony, and nobody has to worry about being hungry or being hurt or whatever. And there are characters that are very specifically without a home in this. It's in X and Y, especially, like Emma, who is a detective in this game. In X and Y, she was a homeless girl who the detective Looker helps out, and eventually she is taken advantage of by Team Flare for a little bit. They put her in like a mind control suit, and then she snaps out of it, and I guess she's still wearing that suit in this game. Like, if you see all the fan art of her ass that has been going around, that is because she is in a skin tight suit, and it gives her like super strength, I guess. But she was homeless for a time, and then Looker left the detective agency to her, so she uses that to help people in need in Lumiose. And there's characters that are very specifically like, oh yeah, if someone is in need and they there's a coffee cafe like truck, and the description explicitly states like, if you aren't able to pay for your drink, they let you have it. Like, they give out free drinks to people who need them. And so it feels like they are trying to set up this thing where it's like, there are people who are trying to help those less fortunate, and those that are building building the structures of the city that make it more difficult for them. But then they don't really do anything with it beyond that. They kind of just present the concept of that these things exist, and then they don't go, but Keisakito's wrong for doing that, because then if they do that, then they would have to get rid of the wild zones, and you wouldn't be able to catch the Pokemon anymore. And you need to do that because it's a Pokemon game, but it still feels like it's up against any kind of statement that they would be trying to have. So that is definitely a frustrating aspect there, where, again, it feels like they are trying to present something like a conversation piece like Gen 3, but they aren't going anywhere with it per se by having the world really change after the events of the game. So that is frustrating. But the actual characters that you interact with in the game are a delight. Some of the best characters that they've had in a Pokemon game. Really fun dynamics. Some of the new megas are cool, but it's a little hard to say how cool they'll be until they show up in the actual mainline games, because we need to know what their abilities are, because this game doesn't have abilities. Because all the combat is it's kind of similar to Xenoblade, honestly. Like, instead of having power points, it's like MMO-esque, where you press the button to do the move, and then they get into position, and then they do the move, and it'll take a certain amount of time for them to do the move. There will be a certain amount of time for that move to cool down before you can use it again. And as you walk around, your Pokemon kind of follows you, so you can reposition yourself and try to dodge moves and all that. It's new. I would say that I do think that there's probably some refinement they're going to need if they want to do something like that again in the future. Just because, honestly, it mostly just boils down to doing more attacks faster.
Yeah.
It's the same problem as normal Pokemon.
To an extent, but the thing with normal Pokemon is that it's still turn-based, so your opponent has a chance if you're not like over leveled or whatever.
I did love seeing a bunch of people complaining about how none of this works with competitive Pokemon, and it's like, this game is not supposed to be competitive Pokemon.
Yeah. There is a ranked mode, but it's literally just a 4-player like battle royale thing where they just throw you into a map and you just try to knock each other out, and it's goofy as hell, and there's not really like, it's ranked in the fact that you earn like a few points every time you play, and then you just go up the rank as you go. Like if you lose, you gain points, so it's like it doesn't actually matter. It's just it's ranked. But yeah, it's fun. I definitely enjoyed it. I would recommend it to folks who want a new, different Pokemon experience. I do still think that $70 is a fucked up amount of money to ask for video games. And I still feel like I didn't get robbed, but that was because I got it from Best Buy, and and they gave me a free playmat with it, and playmats are like $20 or $30. So
yeah, I mean that's my thing. I hate spending $70 on a game, but if I'm actually getting my time out of it, which at the point I'm at, I am satisfied with.
Get it from Costco.
Yes, exactly.
Just if you have a Costco membership, get your games from Costco now, please.
Yeah, they're like $10 cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. But I mean, the game's great so far, and it's nice to feel that. I think I am more of like the Legends type, because I enjoyed Arceus too, more than regular Pokemon. Like I've enjoyed Scarlet and Violet. It's the first Pokemon game I actually finished of that type, but I'm really enjoying this one so far. And like honestly, I might actually it'll be the first time I actually fuck around in the end game stuff. Like so
it's not very long. Like it's basically just they give you the ability to sort of train Pokemon better. Do like bottle caps and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you can finish your Pokedex and all that, and then they give you some legendaries, just like a few of them. The ones that you would expect, But yeah, I dug it quite a bit. I'm gonna keep playing it a bit longer, but I will say I think I will hit a point where I'm done with it a bit sooner than other Pokemon games. But I did the same with Arceus, just because like that game also has a pretty like substantial stopping point, and also there's not really like competitive to try to.
Yeah, I see it as sort of a hey, once you're it's the nice kind of thing of once you're done, you're done.
Single player experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's kind of nice to have, and I've been enjoying it a lot, especially the like wild mega fights, because those are where the game is actually like when they're coming after you instead of your Pokemon, so you're having to dodge around and actually do things. I think that's part of what is like having me excited to actually start it up every time I have.
Yeah, that is something else new with this here. They have so there's in Arceus there were alpha Pokemon that were just big bastards that would come after you to try to I mean, in Arceus Pokemon would be coming after you no matter what, but alphas are just especially large and usually a bit stronger. In this game, I think they just have them all have a maxed out HP, so they're harder to knock out.
They're also significantly larger. Like
yes, they're very
my
large.
alpha ice cream cone is like the size of my character, and it's a fucking ice cream cone.
Yeah, which I will say, if you do plan on playing the multiplayer thing, Alphas are actually bad to use in that because they have a bigger hitbox, so you want them to be smaller.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Smaller Pokemon are better for it, but but yeah, so they also they have because of like the bad vibes that are happening in Lumiose, basically. Wild Pokemon are going through rogue mega evolution, which forces them to mega evolve against their will, and so that's basically just like little like boss fights that you have with all the different characters, and that's how you get them. Some of the new Mega Stones, some of the old ones too. You get Mega Stones via different routes and all that. But those fights are fun. They're like raid battles that you have to run around and do, because they'll target both you and your Pokemon, so you have to kind of balance like dodging attacks and doing damage, and it's fun. Yeah, it definitely feels a lot like an MMO raid, which is definitely new territory for Pokemon for sure.
So you're saying that the rogue mega evolutions and the ambient sadness of the people in the city is both caused by the same bad vibes wave?
No, I think that people are just like that.
Okay.
The Pokemon are fucked up because of an evil presence in the town. The people are just like that.
Yeah, the people are just sad. They're
Yeah,
French.
no.
They're very. Yeah. We are the best, but we are also very sad.
I like that as an element of this like freshly injected social realism to Pokemon. You can fix the Pokemon, you can't fix the people.
Yeah, you can't fix the French. There's no,
But the exploration of the world is definitely, like a lot of people were upset that it's just set in one city, but it is a very, very large city. And there's also another layer on top of it, because you can climb up on the buildings and do a bunch of like parkour shit up there. But I mean, it is kind of a similar areas, which is a little bit of a bummer compared to Arceus, where they had a lot of different zones that had different places and all that. But it's not that bad. It's a little limited, but it's definitely nowhere near as bad as a lot of people are saying it is. Yeah. It is a very large place to explore, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and there's a lot of side missions and all that. Like, it's very good. I think it's a very good game. It is a step up from Arceus overall. Like, Arceus definitely has its pluses and minuses comparatively, but I think that overall it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at it from the outside, to me it seems the issue is it's maybe even actually bigger than they have stuff to fill it with, because so many of the districts look so similar.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of chunks where there is like it's really weird running into an area where there isn't a fast travel point within like 2 blocks of you, and there are a couple of those, and it's like why? And then of course later in the game they become a wild zone and you get a fast travel point, but it's like it's very like okay, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because, everything that isn't a fast travel point can be blocked off during the nighttime where the Pokemon battles happen, which is honestly where the fun is. You get cards and do little challenges like, hey, knock out a bunch of people in one hit with a leaf Pokemon, and it's nice.
Yeah, like, that's how you go up the ranks for because you have to prove yourself as the greatest Mega Evolution user to save the city. So you're in this battle royale thing to try to become rank A, and then that's when you save the city.
Mm-hmm.
Good. I'd say it's good.
Yes.
I like it. Yes. Thumbs up from John. Crystal, why don't you regale us with something that you've been playing?
Yeah. Last time I was on this podcast, I think I talked about Dark Souls 3. About a week and a half after that, I was like, you know what? I could go back for some more Dark Souls 3. So I booted up Elden Ring, which is a game that I played when it came out, and it suffered the classic open world syndrome of like, I play this game until I hate it, and I can't see the strengths anymore. I can only see the endless fields and identical caves. So, and when I entered the field in this new playthrough the first time, I got like flashbacks of those feelings. Like, oh God, I don't want to be in this field. And I turned off the game and I uninstalled it for a week. And then I reinstalled it and I was like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pretend that this is not an open world game. I am going to stick to the roads. I'm going to hit the primary set pieces, and I am not going to go anywhere unless an NPC tells me to go there, or at least suggests that there might be something over there. And turns out I enjoy the game so much more this way. It's surprisingly brisk this way. I got to the plateau in like 12 hours. I was like, wow, this game is actually much more all killer, no filler pacing if you just stick to the roads.
Perfect.
Do you have any thoughts about that?
I think that seems reasonable, and
I mean, honestly, might be what gets me to finally play Elden Ring. Maybe doing it like that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would just say, like, do you feel like you're really missing anything for not wandering off the beaten path per se, or?
Well, a couple times I tried. I was like, okay, this game is winning me over. I mean, I'm in a good mood. I'll give these caves a fair shot. And every time I get like halfway through one of those catacombs and just decide, why am I doing this? I don't like this. Let me go to a real level.
Okay. And I mean, what kind of like build are you running? Are you doing anything special, or are you just?
Previously I ran Faith Strength. So now I'm just going pure sorcerer because I never did any of the sorceries before. Well, that game has a weird quirk in its damage calculation, where single shot spells do pretty good damage, but any 1,000 stingers type spells do very poor damage unless you're like level 200 or something, which means about half the spells you get in that game are completely useless, and you're kind of stuck with the basic magic missile for a long time.
Okay. So how was it kind of waiting to get those better spells then? Was it like a big struggle, or was it did you feel like you had to be a sort of mixed build before you could get the spells that you needed?
Once I found the sword that scaled with intelligence, I did start relying a lot more on just melee. I even just started wearing a shield and using the special skill of that sword, which you can use even with the shield on, which is you raise it up and charge it up into a big great sword that not only does a lot of damage, but will also knock down most enemies, giving you a free chance to charge it up again. And so this skill really allowed me to punch above my weight class by just stun locking enemies with it.
Okay. So you said that you're close to being done, or that you're finished? I forget.
No, I'm not. I'm nowhere near finished. I've been to. This is this is my backup game for another game I'll talk about in a bit. This is where I play it like a few hours a week, slow and steady. I'm like maybe 15 hours in.
Okay. And yeah, where do you have like an ending in mind, or anything like that? Or are you just kind of letting it take you where you're going?
It really pushes you towards the star type ending. The other endings like require you to go more out of your way for less distinctive benefits.
Okay. No, what kind of what benefits are you getting currently?
Well, this game takes a little bit of a different approach to the lore than Dark Souls 2 and 3, I noticed, because those games are really vague and mythical, and it's not really clear what the hell's going on in any specific detail. It's like only the broad strokes that kind of make sense, which is something that I don't think was really true of Demon Souls or Dark Souls 1. I think those games actually have like pretty clear plot lines. And Elden Ring brings that back. The George R.R. Martin influence is like there's so much precise court drama, and all of the factions you can choose for the endings relate back to all of the 700 affairs and incests going on in this royal family. So I guess the side that I'm choosing is the one where the daughter of the person that the king divorced wants to go back to the age of the stars before the big glowing Yggdrasil tree grew and took over the world.
Mm-hmm.
John, what have you been playing?
What else have I been up to? Well, I did play some of the Digimon game. I don't remember. Did I get to talk about this before I was gone? I don't even remember.
You did not. Well, you talked about it a little bit. You had just kind of gotten started.
I don't know if I have too much else to talk about it, because I feel kind of bad because I do really like it, but I feel like people are kind of overhyping it, because there's a lot of people who are being really overblown about the negatives of Pokemon and are trying to sort of set up some sort of big old rivalry and say that, oh, Digimon is here to save us from the tyranny of Pokemon. And again, while I do think that Pokemon has a lot of things to critique, I just talked about some of it, and there's gameplay aspects that need to be improved here and there as well. But I don't think that Digimon Time Stranger is the savior that is going to completely smite everything and is showing everyone exactly what needs to be different for Pokemon instead of what all these things, this is the blueprint that Pokemon needs to follow, because Time Stranger is just an 8 out of 10 or 4 out of 5 JRPG with cool combat mechanics and a fun evolution system and all that, and a good translation.
Yep.
But a story that's kind of and a lot of the other mechanics are very rote, and it's just good. I think it's good. I think people should play it if they like Digimon. But I don't think anyone needs to be jumping to play it. I don't think that people need necessarily or should be jumping to play Z to A either. Maybe a little bit more than Time Stranger, I would recommend it. But people acting like this is the second coming, it's just
I think that's
it's probably just the best Digimon game yet, because every other Digimon game has been mostly ass. So the fact that this one is solid automatically makes it the best Digimon game.
I think that's kind of the thing that kind of always infuriates me whenever a creature catching game, quotation fingers, comes out. Everyone always makes it to be the end all be all. I still have people that respond to me criticizing Pal World with calling me a Pokemon dick writer, and I'm like, I have enjoyed precisely 2 Pokemon games in my entire life, and I've tried to play all of them.
Like, I am a Pokemon dick rider. Don't get it twisted. But I am also going to critique it.
Exactly. I can think something good sucks, but
a good relationship is not built on pure adoration. You need to see the flaws of the other person and work on them with them. And work on your own flaws as well.
I can't help but be amused by the fact that the way you're talking about Digimon is the same way I talk about Pokemon.
It's just like, that.
No, go on.
The thing is, I am more incensed to speak up on Pokemon's behalf because people are fucking insane about Pokemon. There is just like a Pokemon hater like economy right now. There's people just making shit up about Pokemon to talk shit. And that's where I'm like, just because again, if you have valid critiques about those games, yes, that's fine. But when you're like, oh, Game Freak are a bunch of lazy bastards because they made Lumio City all one
flat texture,
big model, and it's like that's wrong. A, and B, like the game is loading in a map, and then you're traversing on the map without any load screens. That's like every video game ever now. That they just do that. They load in the map and then you walk around it. That's not lazy. That's just how everyone does it. So, what do you?
Yeah.
People are just fucking just stupid about it, and they want to cause drama because it's seen as correct and righteous to shit on Nintendo and Game Freak, which to an extent, sure. Because yes, a lot of the gameplay choices, and I mean a good amount of it is Nintendo's legal team that are the things that are really in need of hate and critique. And that's inexplicably tied to the company, but you also kind of have to be like, these are the people making the games, and these are the people doing copyright shit, and there's overlap, but it's not 1-to-1. And people need to remember that when they're making their critiques, because they're like, we need to take those shitty, lazy devs down a peg when they're talking about like ROM site stuff. It's like those aren't the exact same people, know. But I do still really like Time Stranger. I do.
Yeah.
I just wish that the characters were a little bit better. And that's kind of it, actually. The characters just should have been a little better, I would say.
I'm excited to start it. It's my next game after I finish the ZA. I'm pretty I like the gameplay already from the demos that I've done. And especially the PAX demo that had a super boss to fight with a strong team was what actually sold me. Not running through the sewer with overpowered already Digimon. That was okay, but what's the game? You're showing me explore. Oh, okay, this is the game. Oh, okay, no, this is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested in eventually doing a run through the game on either Mega or Mega Plus difficulty, because you basically have to just have not just a full team, but just a very large roster of Digimon to combat almost any challenge, and it feels way more SMT in that regard. You're making teams to go up against these challenges instead of just having a few really good Digimon that'll take care of everything, and I love that. So I might look into that later for sure, because that is cool.
Yeah.
Lorelai, how about you? Is there anything else you would like to discuss?
So I have been playing, I played when it came out, Dispatch, the new former Telltale game that came out with Aaron Paul and a bunch of, like, honestly, it's really, really good what happens when Telltale isn't rushed to make a game and is only working on one thing. And I keep saying Telltale, even though it's not, but it kind of is.
It's like a big swath of ex-Telltale people. It's like everyone who isn't, like, supposedly working on Wolf Among Us 2 is doing this now, I guess.
It's fantastic. Like, I'm really enjoying the storytelling is really good. The acting is really good. The animation is fantastic. It's really nice seeing just something that is just really, really beautifully animated. And, like, you can tell they are wanting to do a fun superhero story with the kind of Saturday morning cartoon vibe of the animation. The writing is definitely very fuck-filled, but, you know, it's definitely... It's the kind of thing I like if you're going to do adult superhero stuff. One of the things one of the reasons I like the Boys TV show more than the comic is absolute fucking dog shit. Try hard, grim, dark, haha. What if rape and violence and every kind of horrid thing was superheroes? And that just fucking sucked ass. It wasn't well written, it was pointless, and half that shit was in there just to go, aren't we extreme? Isn't it funny? The TV show gets away from that a bit with it's still, haha, aren't we extreme? But it's not, haha, isn't it funny that these things are extreme? It's, this one is definitely like, yeah, they say fuck, but it's not like for the purpose of being grim dark. It's actually doing a really good job, like, showing the mind of a superhero that is retired and being forced to do some fun gameplay where, yeah, the entire gameplay is you select what of your team to send to which mission, and every once in a while you do a little hacking mini game. That's very simple, but it's genuinely like it's releasing 2 chapters a week, which I also like. I like the fact that I'm going to be able to talk about the next chapters next week. If it's still good, I could be like, hey, this is really good. And if it's not good, I can go, okay, maybe I should have just binged it all. But
yeah, so to fill in a little bit there, the game is you play as an ex superhero because he just had like a mech suit.
Yeah.
And that got destroyed, so he is now working as a superhero dispatcher, where you are sending a bunch of ex supervillains on their basically superhero quests. So you're just like looking at a big map, and you're just like, okay, here's my team, and then these guys, like, you know, this character, it has fire powers, so they would be more suited to, you know, fighting an ice villain that pops up, or this character is scary looking, so you wouldn't want to send him to go, you know, have a meeting with kids or something, you know, like, yeah. It's you're just making those calls based on that, and then you're setting up you're also having like these inter office relationships between those characters and your coworkers and all that. And It's like I played the demo of it and I thought it was really good.
A guy wanted to fist bump me while pissing, and I was just like, "Fuck no, God! This is why I hate men's bathrooms. Are the most disgusting place in the world. I hate it." It's very like no. There's a lot of just really charming writing and characters so far, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And like especially like your villains who are they're kind of shitters, but they're also like you can tell the ones that are legitimately there to try to be better and whatnot. I'm just really enjoying it so far.
Yeah. Let's see here. Crystal, hit us with one more thing, and then or I guess you have two more things. You could hit us with the last two things you got, and then we'll hit the news.
Sure. I'm not very far in this one. Playing a 2015 PC adventure game called Else Heart.Break. It is a game where it's all set in one fairly dense city. All the NPCs have schedules, and also you can hack all of the characteristics of each little map and every NPC to like change their schedules around. And I haven't actually unlocked that ability. Mostly so far it's just been a lot of like almost Shenmue-esque. You have to do the mundane tasks of daily life, like your hotel key doesn't work, so now you have to go down to the manager and talk to her, and she'll call a guy to fix it. And then you can talk to the guy while he's fixing it. And then you gotta get the key. You gotta open your backpack to get your key, to equip your key, and then use your key on the door, and then put your key back in your backpack. It's that type of game.
Mm-hmm.
You ever played something like that before?
I can't say I have. I'm looking at the store page for this, and yeah, this definitely seems very very unique. What drove you to check this one out? If you just like heard about it, or did you play other games by the developers, or?
I'm not sure if they've made anything else. This is a game I heard about in 2015 and purchased in that year, and it sat in my Steam library for a decade, like so many games of that era. So I just finally got around to it.
Sure, yeah. I'm like clicking through all the developers, and like every single one of them, save for one, only has this game on Steam at least. But then, yeah, this one, Eric Svedang, also did Blueberry Garden in 2009, and Mana Hex in 2024. So there's another game by one of the developers last year, which that's kind of crazy that it's just like like such a large gap between each game, but yeah, very interesting.
And the other thing I've started on is Final Fantasy X. That game really shows off the next generation power of the PlayStation 2 Emotion Engine. Like sometimes they're just showing off, right? Like in any of the cutscenes so there are higher budget cutscenes and lower budget cutscenes, right? The lower budget ones are the problem that I think are actually kind of a step back from the PS1, because it's just a close up on these models that don't move very much, and if their mouths move, it's just very simple flaps, and there's really no visuals of note to accompany the voice acting. And I think that would probably work better if you just like pulled the camera further away, as in a PS1 game, so you didn't see that these models weren't really doing anything.
Yeah, but I like that is something that ZA does have a problem with too. Like a lot of people will be on like different sides of if Pokemon needs voice acting or not, but there's like kind of on the opposite side, there's like higher end cutscenes in Z to A where characters are very much like full on acting and are having conversations where they are like emoting and moving their mouth, but there's no voice acting. So it's like very much shot like these characters should be speaking.
Yeah.
And they just don't. It feels very odd.
I kind
of
wish
it's like kind of the opposite.
Sorry, I kind of wish even just like the peanuts would be happening. Even that would be better with, or even just the sound of that you sometimes get in some games that do that. Just a sound instead of like their mouths are moving, their heads are moving, their arms and bodies. It's like,
I definitely don't think Pokemon needs voice acting, but I do think they have found themselves in this weird middle ground between a like character portraits type RPG and a cinematic RPG, where they're like halfway doing the kind of in vogue cinematic cutscene presentation, but it just doesn't have either the voice or even really the like detailed mocap that you would get in other RPGs that do that style. So I feel like if they can't expand to do that because of their constrained resources, it would probably be better actually just pull back further, like not even try to do cinematic presentation, do more like classic style RPG puppet theater.
Yeah, like there's maybe like 4 cutscenes in the entire game that are in that style, where it's like, why aren't these characters talking? And everything else is just like the little, like the 3D models that you're walking around the city with, and they're just, walking up to each other and just talking, and they have the text and all that. Like, that does not stand out. It is literally just those scenes. Like, what, like the early on scene that where it hit me is, when you first meet up with AZ's Floette, and it does like the big laser beam attack. Everyone is like emoting really, like they're emoting like they're in a play or something, and it's like it's just confounding why vocals aren't coming out of their mouths. But pretty much every other aspect of the game, it's like, no, that's fine. So if they just would stop doing these cutscenes where it's very apparent that it's like that cutscene in Sword and Shield that everyone keeps bringing up is the one with Pierce, where he's up on stage singing and there's just nothing coming out. Like, why do you have to show him singing like that? Like focusing on him. Like if they had like pulled the camera back and it was just like, oh, he's up on stage and like all the people are like clapping or whatever, like that'd be one thing. But they zoom in on him and he's just, so it looks stupid. Like, just don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. But Final Fantasy X really renewed my faith in cinematic voice acting video game cutscenes.
Sure.
Because the facial animations are not mocapped in the way that like post Last of Us games are. They're hand animated, and that gives them, just like the Spirits Within movie, this very how do you put it? It's cartoony. It's like not perfectly realistic, but it is very detailed. There's a lot of little idiosyncratic nuances to the way each character moves their face.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can also do things like animate individual fingers when Tidus is teaching Yuna to whistle. And they can do voice acting flexes, like the infamous laugh scene, which like smoothly transitions from characters being miserable to like awkwardly trying to get over it to actually getting over it. And then the fake laughter transitions into the real laughter. I'm like, wow, you couldn't do this in Final Fantasy VIII, and now you're doing it.
Yeah, I love that people constantly talk about that scene as like an example of bad voice acting when it's like legitimately some of the fucking best. Like, that scene is so good. That game rules.
It's so good.
If you take it out of context, it's a bit much. But yeah, then don't take it out of context. Yeah, that's the whole point of the scene.
But what news do we have?
The news. All right. So let's see here. I was just I opened up my Blue Sky timeline on accident right there, and first thing that came up was a picture of Captain Marvel nursing a gorilla. So I was gonna say, all right, first thing on the news, Captain Marvel is nursing a gorilla. No,
Captain DC Captain Marvel or Carol
DC
Danvers
Captain
Marvel.
Shazam, that guy. All right, let's see here. Let's see. All right. A lot of the news this week is we've got some bad news. We've got very middling good news, and we've got stuff where I'm just kind of like, okay, I guess I'll just hit the okay first. Well, folks, something that like 10 years ago, everyone on the planet would have been like, nah, that'll never happen. What the hell are you talking about? And now it's just, all right, whatever, I guess. Halo is on PlayStation now.
Yep. And it looks like dog shit.
And it's Unreal Engine 5 doo-doo.
It's so funny seeing the reaction from like original stage developers just looking at the video and going, what the fuck is this? You could just drive the Warthog through the boxes I set up specifically so you had to do a ground fight? What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually a lot more forgiving on remake stuff than a lot of people are, but it just seeing a lot of people who did work on those games just full on realizing that the people that are working on this don't know what they're doing, and they're just like, all right, yeah, this is just a bad cash in BS thing because they don't have anything better going on.
And we're putting ChatGPT on PlayStation. I mean, Halo story mode on PlayStation.
Yeah, I think there are some bits of that are a bit more overblown, but I think there were some people who worked on this that came out and were like, yeah, we have stuff built into our like Photoshop that's generative AI stuff, but that they could be covering up even more stuff. Like I know that there's been like clips from some trailers that people were posting that were like, oh yeah, Cortana sounds like an AI generated voice in this scene, which could just be a bad take or whatever, who knows. But the fact that people are walking away from this and being like, yeah, this game looks at AI generated is I think that says a lot about what it is. And even divorced from all the feelings that people have about Microsoft lately with their involvement with the IDF and their Xbox being this overpriced mess of a hardware just in general with their console and their ROG Ally cooperation that is just a stupid investment. I feel like everything I hear about it is just like it's basically just a computer, and it's just like I don't know what the point is.
Windows 11 bogging down half its speed, like
yeah, like there's some aspects of it where it's like I kind of get what you're doing with that, but also yeah, there's just it's well, anyway. Divorced from pretty much everything else, I'm just gonna say the title for this remake is one of the worst titles I've seen in a long time, because it is just the single player from what I can gather. It is called Halo Campaign Evolved.
I can't. It's so bad.
It's a really bad title. But yeah, it's just one of those fascinating things where it's just like, yeah, Gears of War is on PlayStation 5, Halo is going to be on PS5. Just yeah, it's they're done. They're going to be out of there soon. It's there's no way that Microsoft is going to stay in the console race for much longer. There's no way.
I mean, they say they're releasing a new console that's going to be a super premium like console. So, you know. So
which just means that it's going to be $1,500 and
it's going to be a $1,500 Steam box.
Yeah, it just sounds like a disaster. Great job, everybody.
Woo.
Go team.
Yeah.
Let's see here. In some news here, I'm not a Factorio person, but if you are, and you like the Nintendo Switch 2, they are porting Factorio to Switch 2. And it will be, quote, available as soon as possible.
There goes my life.
They're aiming for December, but they don't know. It will be a free upgrade if you already own it on Switch 1. And it will launch at the same time as their expansion called Space Age. And this upgrade for Switch 2 will have, of course, better resolution, higher quality animations, visual improvements, better load times, larger bases, and the ability to use the Joy-Con mouse. So you'll be able to click and drag like the best of them.
That's the Joy-Con mouse is maybe my favorite part of the Switch 2 thing. So, hell yeah.
It's definitely one of those things that I appreciate, but I haven't really used a shit ton yet. It's more, I've just used it to mess around in Mario Paint and Mario and Wario so far. So, maybe once Metroid Prime 4 hits and I try that out and see how it feels to play that game with the mouse and the joystick, maybe we'll see how that goes. But so far, it's just a little thing to mess around with. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I missed this until just now. Maverick said about the Halo remake. Ain't no kids singing the theme song in the bathroom for this one. That's so true. Yeah, I can't imagine all the kids just doing the whole no, they're not caring about this. God, those first few Halo games.
They rule.
I'm not even a big first-person shooter person, but one to Reach. Those are great games. Let's see here. So speaking of stuff that has a varied history, Tomonobu Itagaki, the creator of the Ninja Gaiden Revival franchise, the Dead or Alive games, as well as Wii U classic Devil's Third, passed away at the age of 58. This was announced on his Facebook page. And this is the dude that pushed for a lot of character action tropes. Had an infamous rivalry with Tekken. That Harada was pretty adamantly, a few years ago, he actually made a post that was Itagaki and I butted heads, but also I genuinely think that our rivalry made each other better, and I think that's definitely interesting. And there was some history of I don't remember exactly when it was, but there was allegations of sexual misconduct at one point that, from what I have seen, did get sort of settled, but who knows how exactly that settlement went down per se. So I'll continue to look at that with a bit of a side eye. But at the very least, those Ninja Gaiden games and the Dead or Alive series are solid games. And 58 is really young in the grand scheme of things. So, it's just it is a bit it's a bit sad to be like, man, yeah, dude just passed right when Ninja Gaiden 4 came out, which he didn't have anything to do with, but it's just like, yeah, the world is, his franchises continue to move on. It's
yeah,
it's an interesting thing to think about.
This is I mean, Itagaki was like a character in the 2000s because of his ridiculous behavior in interviews.
Mm-hmm.
And like on top of that, actually directed some really good games.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is kind of one of the his higher profile game designer deaths lately.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, like the thing that a lot of people brought up again with his constant shit talking of Tekken, like it was like there's an infamous bit, I think it was like Game Informer or something, where he listed his like 5 favorite games and his 5 least favorite games, and the 5 favorite games are like a variety of different things, and then the 5 least favorite games are just Tekken 1, Tekken 2, Tekken 3, Tekken 4, Tekken 5. So he's just he was a shit talker in an era where people weren't doing that as much, like in a pre-social media world. And it was something that got a lot of attention in the West comparatively, which was, that was a new frontier for that kind of game developer. Like a lot of Japanese game devs were just like, it's good that we get sales overseas, but we're making Japanese games. And if I feel like Itagaki recognized that, spreading out was a good idea, and that his personality, his character, was what breached into outside of Japan, and definitely got more people interested in DOA and Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, he was making like regular appearances in Xbox Nation magazine, which is not true of most developers.
Yeah.
But also, I don't think I've ever heard a good story about his workplace conduct, and I've heard plenty of bad ones.
Yeah.
So this is really a case of guy who might have been evil, but he made some good games, and now he's dead, and mixed feelings about that, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where just like, yeah, dude's gone, and we're left with his legacy, and that is what we are looking at. And it's like, yeah, dude was a character, was an interesting character in game development, and historically paved the way for some stuff, but also that was paved by a lot of workers that were treated very poorly, which is highly unfortunate. So yeah, as Maverick said, he truly was the devil's third. That is true.
Yes, his recent output has been mostly like, I don't want to call it garbage, but it's all the Kusoge kind of stuff. Just these games aren't good, but they're also just, there's an earnestness to them.
Yeah, it does kind of make you wonder how much of the goodness of the other games was him versus other designers on the team.
Yeah. Other designers taking his, like, he seems like an ideas guy that if you don't stick the designers around him, he doesn't get a good game, but a memorable one. Whereas before he started his own company, he was getting good games out of his like weird ass ideas.
Yeah, Devil Sword was the last thing he directed, but apparently he was, quote, supreme advisor on Samurai Jack Battle Through Time. Okay. I didn't. I feel like I knew that, but I completely forgot it. But that's strange. But yeah, big rips to Itagaki. And also may work continue to improve for developers around the world, because that is what they truly deserve. Indeed. Let's see here. Next up, this is a rumor that has been posited by one Daniel RPK, who is apparently a very prolific movie leaker. Dude just knows, I guess has a bunch of info about film and the like. And I just want to say this because I hope it's true and I hope that it happens. But apparently one of the proposed titles, so this is not saying that this is 100% what the title will be, but apparently it is being pushed. One of the proposed titles for the 4th Sonic movie is apparently Sonic CD. Because it is going to be the Metal Sonic movie, which I want that to be the case because that would be really cool.
That would genuinely be funny to say, "Hey, do you want to go see Sonic CD tonight?" I want that. I kind of want that.
I want it really bad. It's pure selfishness. It's pure just dumb dweeb nostalgia stuff. But I think they should do it because it's funny.
I almost feel bad. I still haven't seen 3, despite enjoying the first 2.
I noticed the trend in adaptation blockbusters these days is to get real cute with your titles. Marvel did it recently with Thunderbolts Asterisk, so I imagine Sonic CD could get brought up at a meeting.
And then, of course, they promptly just spoiled the asterisk 2 days after the movie came out. They fucking changed all the posters to New Avengers, and it's like, fuck off.
That's what happens when you give a producer too much power. They can make this silly idea into something real, and then everyone can see how silly it actually is.
Legitimately made me mad that they just changed the title of the movie 2 days after it came out. It's like, you could have at least waited a fucking month.
But even think about what you're saying. That the title of the film could even be a spoiler like that it would be instrumentalized in that way is so ridiculous.
Yeah, it was so. Fucking Marvel.
Yeah, it's very strange, but whatevs. And our last bit of news here is another. It's a bizarre and frustrating story that is, I guess, becoming more and more prevalent as time goes on. Artist, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. I apologize. Jeryce Dianingana, who was working on the Black Panther game. I think is that game. I can't even remember. All these Marvel games are getting canceled and I don't even. Is the Black Panther game still?
I think it still exists. I forget. I know there's one old-timey one that is still happening.
The 1943 one is still happening, but there was an EA Black Panther game that got canceled. So I think that
this is Rivals, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll get to that. This artist was working on the Black Panther game, but also just for their own work, did a lot of like African inspired, like setting design and stuff like that. Like taking aspects of art and culture and the like, and creating like spaces and all that, which would make sense for a Black Panther game. That would be every stage, like you would go, every area that you would explore would be that. So this artist is claiming with some very solid proof here that the newest, or maybe not the newest, but the recent Wakanda map from Marvel Rivals is directly lifting from their concept art here that they did for personal artwork, like pointing out very specific like pieces of the art that are 1-to-1. And again, this isn't just like, oh, this was like Black Panther artwork for the EA game that maybe Marvel still had some kind of ownership over, and then they used it on Marvel Rivals, like however that would work. No, this was their personal artwork that was just done for themselves, was ripped off for Marvel Rivals. And they also have a DM from their Twitter account, supposedly from a developer of Marvel Rivals, that says, I'll quote here, "Hello, I am the art developer on Marvel Rivals. I like your design very much. We also absorbed the inspiration of your work in the design of the Wakanda map. Now we would like to invite you to participate in the game art design of Marvel Rivals, or to work with us remotely to produce the artwork of Marvel Rivals. I don't know if you have time and interest. Looking forward to your reply." So they basically just like used their artwork and then tried to hire them afterwards instead of hiring them and then using it.
Yeah, that it's
backwards.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It genuinely like when I saw you post that, I was genuinely like fucking pissed, because like, as somebody who works
it's
in
fucked.
like comics industry and stuff like that, seeing people misuse art pisses me off to no fucking end. And there's so much of it. There's guys like, somehow Greg Land has a professional career, despite the fact that he uncreditedly traces like everything. And it's fucking infuriating, and it keeps happening.
Yeah, it's not right. So I mean, hopefully this gets squared away in the correct way. Like, I'm like the artist here isn't like specifying exactly how they want this to shake out, but some form of acknowledgement and back pay, or changing the art and apologizing and all that. Like there does need to be some form of apology and attribution and removal here, because there's if that was actually an artist from Marvel Rivals messaging them, and this wasn't just a coincidence, or it's just, I mean, again, because they only showed a screenshot of a Twitter DM. They did not show exactly who it was from. So, we do have to take it at their word, but their art and this Marvel Rivals map concept art does have parallels that you can pretty clearly see. So we'll see how this shakes out. But it's it's quite similar to the marathon stuff, but it is definitely getting a lot less press because it's Marvel Rivals. It's a game that's kind of already existing, and it's not the entire game. It's like some elements of a map. So surely a lot of people are probably just considering this a smaller bit of news, and it's like, no, it's bad.
Yeah, for me,
this person got ripped off.
Yeah, it's a big deal for me. It's fucking infuriating.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will continue to happen unless perhaps there is some pushback against it.
Mm-hmm. But also, like, a lot of people that play more, like the kind of people that were more aware of Marathon are the kind of people that would push back against this kind of stuff, I think. And so hopefully more Marvel Rivals folks are attuned to this and push back on it instead of ignoring it.
Yeah.
That would be helpful.
Yeah. Well, but they released their PvE mode that people are enjoying, so everyone's going to forget in 20 minutes.
Yeah. That's all I have. Is there anything else you all want to talk about? I don't see any questions. Anything from the chat, maybe?
Chat, any questions for?
Yeah, any quick questions before we move on? Give it like another few minutes and then you know.
We can say our sign-offs as we wait.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, we could do that. All right, yeah. So for those of us who are here watching, thank you so much. We have our website, which is gamesline.net, which is also our Blue Sky URL. So if you look up at gamesline.net on Blue Sky, you can follow us on there. Our Tumblr, gamesline.tumblr.com, facebook.com/gamesline, youtube.com/@signthegamesline. And if you're watching live, it's twitch.tv/gameslinetv. We're here every Sunday at around 5 o'clock CST, give or take, which is 6 EST. We're gonna try to do more Halloweeny streams. I know, Lily will probably want to do more of those. She's kind of spearheading that. She's also working on a fucking novel, so I think she's been juggling that. But yeah, we'll figure out when we want to do that next, and then we'll do more of those. So that'll be on the Twitch. We'll announce it like a day or two ahead of time. And we have our Patreon, patreon.com/gamesline. Sign up on there and get access to our anime podcast, Unlimited Real Works, a whole week before everybody else for just $3. And come hang out in our Discord server, thegamezone.zone. Type that into your web browser. It'll bring you straight there. And thank you to Melt Channel/Magic Circuit for our theme song Crush off of the album Magic is Real. If you want to listen to their stuff, it's meltchannel.bandcamp.com or magic-circuit.bandcamp.com. And not this coming Friday, but the Friday after, on the 7th, is Bandcamp Friday, which is when you should be purchasing music off of Bandcamp because they get the full cut. So, Crystal, where can people find you?
You can find me Arcane Crystal on Blue Sky. Listen to other podcasts at Audio Entropy, particularly Eidolon Playtest, Actual Play Podcast, current series Eidolon Flashback, bumbling villains of a time-traveling organization try to conquer all of history.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Lorelai, where can people find you?
You can find me on Blue Sky and Twitch at twitch.tv/Judgment Scythe and judgmentscythe.bluesky.social.
Yes. And you can find me on Blue Sky at john.gamesline.net. And that's kind of it. I'm not really doing anything else. I'm doing this website. This website. And yeah, no questions from the chat. But then, yeah, thank you so much for listening, everybody. We will be back next week with another episode of the Gamesline podcast.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
down in Cuba where skies are clear, where it is summertime all of the year. They have the loveliest dance I know. Come along, honey, babe, and I'll show you. Get away closer, hun, squeeze me tight. Rag-a-dag to the left, into the right. Shake it up, side by side. Cuddle right up to me as we glide. Ain't it entrancing when you're a-dancing that Cubanola glide?